Welcome one and all to the 2025 St. Paul String Quartet Competition pre-final round interviews. I'm Ray Shows, first violinist of the Artaria String Quartet and the founder and administrator of America's premier competition exclusively for high school and pre-professional string quartets. This year marks a significant milestone as we celebrate the 20th anniversary of the St. Paul String Quartet Competition. So it's my great honor to introduce the RAEMONIA String Quartet from the preparatory program of Webster University in St. Louis, Missouri. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
In this interview, I've selected a series of icebreaker questions that will offer the audience an opportunity to learn more about you talented musicians beyond their performances or your performances. And so we're excited to share these responses with you, the audience. Okay, here we go. First off, each of you please tell the audience your name, the instrument you are playing, and where you study chamber music.
I'll start. So my name is Catherine Nguyen. I'm in 11th grade at Clayton High School. I play the viola. Yeah.
Eric, you're up.
I say, Webster University, preparatory program.
Hello, I'm Eric Chen. I'm a violinist. I'm also a junior in high school right now, and I also study at the preparatory program at Webster University.
Hi, I'm Aiden Moon. I'm a violinist in 11th grade at Parkway Central High School. I too study with these people and her at the wonderful Webster University the preparatory program.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Abby Dieter. I'm in 12th grade at Limerick High School, and I'm the cellist of the quartet. And yeah, we all study at the preparatory program here.
Wonderful. It's a great program. You're not the first quartets that have come up to this program, the competition, and we're delighted to have you back, have a group from that school back. So that's great to hear. So let's get to a new question. How did each of you get introduced to chamber music? And why don't we start with Aiden?
So my older sister used to play violin, and actually she did this program too. So when I was younger, I used to go to her concerts, and that was basically my first experience with chamber music. And it looked like when she got home, she looked like she was really enjoying like her time in the preparatory program. So I decided to join as well.
Abby.
Yeah, so my teacher, Kurt Baldwin, he invited me to come to a summer music festival that he hosts called the Ariana Chamber Music Festival. And that was my first like official introduction into chamber music.
Eric, what's your introduction to chamber music?
So I was actually introduced first to chamber music by my brother, because when I started out on piano, and I only switched to violin 2 years later. But when I switched to violin, because my brother was also playing piano, we would play like duets together and stuff. But then my mom saw that I had a lot of passion for the violin. So she enrolled me in the chamber music encounter here at the community music school at Webster University, actually. It was a summer program, and I started it in 3rd grade, and I did it in 4th and 5th grade as well, where I got to meet a lot of new people around the area with like similar interests, a lot of musicians who were playing different instruments, and I got to like really bond with the music community here. So that really launched me into the chamber music interests I have now.
Catherine, your story.
Yeah, so very similar to like Aiden and Eric's with my siblings. I have an older sister who also played violin and viola. I think my mom specifically, she always like put classical music on in our household ever since we were young kids. Mm-hmm. But I guess the first like official program that I joined was the prep program here my freshman year.
So when and how did the four of you coalesce into a string quartet?
Let's go back to the beginning. So Catherine and I initially became friends because we had the same violin teacher. And Eric and I both became friends because we were both in the same youth orchestra. And then Catherine, Eric, and I all became friends through youth orchestra. And we all kind of just bonded in our time at the youth orchestra. So we decided soon Catherine would switch to viola, and we decided maybe we should make a quartet together. And we were looking for a cellist, and we got a recommendation, our wonderful Abby Dieter, and she has joined our group and become a great part of our quartet. No, she's oh my god, oh my goodness, I can't.
No.
She's like a part of our quartet.
So Abby, you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, I guess. You were walking down the hallway. No, Abby, tell me, how do you like these guys?
Oh, they're great. Like, no, seriously, from our first, I was so nervous, like, for our first, gosh, it was in August, wasn't it? Like, our first time meeting together, we were rehearsing the Smetana, and I was, oh my gosh, I was like incredibly nervous. But then you guys were like literally Aiden was the first person in there, and like, I remember like you being just like way more chill than I thought you would be. Not because I knew anything about you beforehand. I just was like, I don't know. And I was just like, oh, whoa, that's so nice. And then like, Eric, you're like really funny, and then Catherine, you're also like really chill, and it's like y'all are funny too. But like, it was just, it was so like, I was like immediately like, I was like, okay, there's a connection here, and I felt like we like had pretty good chemistry. So I was, yeah.
I can totally see the chemistry. This is fabulous, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your quartet. You know, audiences are always curious about quartet names. Would you please describe the process of selecting a name for your ensemble?
We should talk about. So yeah, I think this we took a while to figure out our name. Because so I was like originally trying to look up like names of like because the Ariana String Quartet, I think they got their name. I remember Kurt roughly telling this that like I think they got it from like the wife of like some composer or some like musician or something like that in the past. And so I was trying to like research like names of like someone in the past. It's like, you know, a name that like rang pretty nicely. And I got onto a website of Greek baby names. And then I stumbled upon RAEMONIA, and I thought it sounded really nice. I like the vibe. It's not super harsh, and I feel like, you know, it's really pretty, but it's light, and like I feel like that kind of describes our quartet a little bit. We're not super heavy, I feel like. Intense. I don't know if that makes any sense, but and we all agreed we thought it sounded really nice, and we like the color red. It kind of gives a color red vibe, and so we kind of liked that theme, and you'll see that in our, in our performance. We're gonna try to match the name a little bit, but yeah, that was kind of a little bit of the reasoning behind it.
No, it's a beautiful name. It really is. And I have to say, after doing this 20 years, you would think there would be some sort of duplication along the way. Everybody wants to be this, that, or no. We've never had a duplication in all of the years. And now we're running this college division, you know, pre-professional. And again, no duplication. So bravo. Because one of the hardest things, besides getting a good group photo, one of the hardest things to do is to name your group, because like you said, it has to have the vibe of the group. You want it to represent the group and yet be unique and compelling and interesting to look and say. So how do you pronounce it? RAEMONIA, with it like an Italian accent?
Yeah, I don't like
A
it.
Greek accent.
Yeah, RAEMONIA is how I would say it.
Okay. So how did you select your repertoire? Who would like to talk about that?
I can talk about the Wade.
Okay,
Yeah.
so me and Aiden, we've been friends for a long time now through youth orchestra. And I was at Green Mountain Chamber Music Festival last summer, and I heard the Smetana String Quartet at a masterclass, and I've never heard it before. Keep that in mind. And right after I heard the masterclass, I texted Aiden, and keep in mind, I'm like halfway across the country from him right now, but I texted Aiden, I'm like, the Smetana String Quartet is so good. It's so amazing. And from that moment, I just knew like if we had a quartet together, because we'd been planning a quartet together for a while by that point, that we had to play that piece. So that was the first piece in our repertoire that we knew we wanted to solidify.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Haydn since chronologically, or?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, so Wade, that was the hardest one to find because it was a contemporary piece. And so it took a lot of research on our end to like find a contemporary piece that we all liked, since they're not super well known. And so we all like went on like Spotify or whatever, or YouTube, to try and find some pieces. And we were trying to find the right vibe, right? Because the Smetana is super, like, it's pretty heavy and it's pretty dark, at least in my opinion. And so we were trying to find something that was a little bit, not necessarily upbeat, but like kind of like a lighter kind of attitude about it. And so when I first heard the Wade, I was like, whoa, this is really cool, because not only is it like contemporary and it's lighter, it fits the vibe, but also like it has a recognizable theme in it because it's originally like based off of spiritual. And so we thought it fit the vibe really nice. And so that's kind of how we stumbled upon that one. But it took us a hot minute because with the contemporary pieces, it was interesting. But.
Well, thank you. You have two contemporary pieces you have to play because you're playing that one and you're also doing the compulsory work, which is kind of interesting. I like that. For our audience, let's clarify. It's not actually called Wade. Can you tell the audiences what the title of the composer is and the whole title?
Yeah, so it's called it's from the Spiritual Fantasies. The movement is called Wade in the Water. And it's by a composer named Frederick Tillis.
How is the compulsory work by Danuk Gujaratni coming along?
I've been having a blast with it personally. I love the way it sounds. And the mix of I've been wanting to play Death in the Maiden forever, and I haven't played it yet, but having the themes in there is awesome. And when we first stumbled upon that, like I was sitting in a hospital, like not in a bad way. I was just like in like a lobby and I was like, oh, I can listen to this right now. So I listened to it for the first time and I literally screamed like in public. I was like, when I heard that, when when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And my sister was sitting next to me and she was like, be quiet, be quiet. Yeah, but anyways, I have every time we're like, okay, let's rehearse that today. I'm like a little bit more excited because it's really fun. Not that the other pieces aren't, but like it's for me, it's kind of a really nice combination of everything I like because of what I like in a piece of music. Because the beginning is just beautiful and the themes are beautiful. And I personally love it when I have octaves with the violinist. I don't know why. Ever since I played, it sounds so nice. But yeah, do you guys want to talk about the process? I will be quiet. But
no, I remember we first received the piece and we're like, oh, let's listen to it and then we'll read it in rehearsal. And I remember Abby was here a little bit early and I walked into the room and we both just looked at each other and we just like start screaming. So excited about the Death of the Maiden. But no, we like honestly it's such a great piece and like we've certainly had our hurdles with it, but I think it is definitely coming along. We are guilty of being the teenagers that we are guilty of just blasting through whatever's going on in the court, whatever's going on in the piece and just trying to get to Death in the Maiden. But yeah, we're working our way through it and we really
Thank you all. One of my favorite things of the competition, besides meeting you all and hearing you all play, is getting an opportunity to actually select a piece of music that that you're all going to play the same piece, which really gives the jury a very a really focused picture about each of the groups. So it's an evolving event before we award prizes at the end. Now I want to give this next question to Catherine. Okay. Catherine, you ready? This is my favorite question. How would you describe your group's rehearsal style?
Oh, I think we have a lot of great, I guess, skills in our rehearsal style. I mean, some of the times we are like unproductive by orthodox measures, but I think that only like enhances, like if we're talking about other things or like doing other things, that like enhances our bond. So oftentimes we'll get off track or kind of just make jokes and have fun with the music a lot. But I think that at the core of it, we just, tackle the music head on. Everyone's like allowed to give their opinions. It's a very open space, a very safe space. So everyone often kind of gives their input. A lot of the times we have people like go out to listen to like duets or like trios within the quartet. So we have new perspectives.
Yeah, I think we're a very like work hard, play hard type of group because we sometimes, I remember the other day we just spent like 45 minutes on just like 2 measures.
I'm gonna say I think our most productive rehearsal we ever had was when we like had food motivator. It was like we're gonna get ice cream at the end if we can get through like this spot, and we went right through it. It was great. It was great.
Food is a great motivator. Let me tell you, that is terrific. That's the last of my questions, if you can believe it. I could spend all evening chatting with you guys. And is there anything else about your quartet team here that you'd like to share with our audience?